I've never really understood Instagram stories because I've been creating content
Until right now.
si well till right now since the 90s. Actually, I've been creating content since the 90s, and I've got content that still gets traffic now, like 10, 15 years later. And the idea of creating content that disappears 24 hours later, I think, why would I do that? Oh, that's quite a done for you service, then, isn't it? It's quite
It is a
comprehensive.
done for you. Yeah, it is a niche social video done for you agency, basically.
Hmm. Okay, you've got me. I am a convert. I will
Mm,
give it an experiment. I will give it a go, and I will give it at least 30 days as well, as you say.
yeah,
I'll give it a go.
definitely do the 30-day challenge because you'll see even as somebody that's experienced on video like yourself.
Yeah. So when you say
Uh,
you post them on LinkedIn, you mean you're uploading the video to LinkedIn. You're not sharing the YouTube link.
Correct. I'm uploading it natively to LinkedIn. Exactly.
On this week's Engaging Marketeer podcast, I am speaking to Danny DelVecchio, who is a video producer. I'm not sure you'd call him that. He is a video creator, a content creator. He helps people with their video. And I'm going to be having a discussion with Danny about how he does that, what kind of platforms he uses, and how his clients work with him. Because if you are a business owner or you are a marketer and you are trying to get your message out there on video, and you're not quite sure how to do it, or you want to make it look really, really polished, then Danny is the person to help you. He will walk you through it. He will take your video and he will make it look like the shizzle. Did I really just say the shizzle? Yes, I did. But we're committed now, so we're going for it. Let's get in touch with Danny DelVecchio. So, can you tell me, as if I was a complete Luddite and didn't understand anything in its industry at all, why is it so important for people to have video?
Why is it so important to have video? It's a good question.
I know
Because it
I
is,
do ask them sometimes. I don't.
yeah, starting off. So look, the reason that everybody should have video is because it is the number one way to build, and I know this sounds cheesy, but no like trust factor with your audience, viewers, the people that are consuming your content. There is no other medium that can bring out your personality and build that connection to your audience as you talking on video, as people seeing your face and hearing your voice, and having you tell your stories where people can actually see your body language and everything like that. So it's better than any other medium out there,
Hmm.
100%.
Well, obviously, you're preaching to the choir here. I am a camera whore,
Right.
and will throw myself in front of a camera if I see one. But what
Me
about
too.
those people who are like, I hate cameras being on me. I don't like being on video. I couldn't possibly speak on a video. What advice do you give them?
Practice. I mean, it's as simple as that. So I never wanted to get on camera either. I was like, I started off at my content creation journey as a podcaster as well. So very familiar in that space. But I wanted to be heard, but I definitely did not want to be seen at all.
Hmm.
And maybe it was because I weighed like almost 100 pounds more than I do now.
Oh
But
wow.
um, that was definitely part of it. But I just wasn't like really comfortable getting on video. And I had a mentor who told me, he's like, if you want to make the impact that you're trying to make here, then you have no choice. You need to get on video. So I just started doing Instagram stories every day. I would just grab my phone, would talk into my phone for 30 to 60 seconds, just sharing something that happened that day. And that is the exact thing that I would tell anybody right now who wants to be on video, but it makes them uncomfortable. Like just the thought of it gives you like anxiety, right? My advice to you is for the next 30 days, all I want you to do is grab your phone, turn it on, and share something. Literally, just talk about something from that happened to you that day for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. You don't need to show these videos to anyone at all.
Hmm.
All you need to do is do this every day for 30 days. And then at the end of the 30 days, what I want you to do is I want you to go back and I want you to watch video number one and I want you to watch video number 30. And then you are going to see the massive amount of improvement that you have made from video one to video number 30. Because even if you get 1% better with every video, like think about how much better you are after the 30 days already, right? But the thing is like after the first video, like to the second one, you're gonna get like 100 times better. Because like the first one's like so nerve-wracking. And then from the second one to the third one, you're gonna get 50% better. And then the third to the fourth. And like, so by the time like you're done with this 30 days, you're good to go.
Hmm.
But you just have to be disciplined and do it and get through it. And you'll be ready to rock and roll. That's it.
That's fantastic advice. Just get out. I love the look at the first one, then look at the last one and see the difference that you've made.
That's the key. That's the key. Go back to video number one, watch it, then watch video number 30, and you're like, oh, I'm not so bad.
Yeah, because I'm currently going through what's it called? Orthodontic teeth correction stuff using it's like Invisalign. And each day it's each week it's half a millimeter difference, and I'm not seeing a single difference as I change it. But if next April, presumably, when I go back to what I started this April just gone, I'm going to see a huge difference between it. Yeah, it's the result and the start. It's same with weight loss, isn't it? If you measure yourself every single day, you'll be like, oh, it's not really changed. I'm not seeing anything. But it's over the time.
Yeah, you go back and you look at those pictures from, 2 months ago and you're like, oh, I see it now.
Mm.
That's why I like going back and going back to that original one.
So when you started, you picked Instagram stories that you first did it on.
That was where I first started with video. Yeah, that was my first foray into video was Instagram stories.
And what sort of reach were you getting on that at the time? And when was that as well?
So I guess that was probably 2021. Um, and with Instagram stories, I mean, I had a small following at that point, and Reels had not been invented yet. So I was maybe getting, I don't know, on a good day, maybe 100 people would see one of my story videos. Like maybe 50 people on average would see my story videos. Not a lot, but that number would obviously increase as I started to grow following.
So did you say you did that for 30 days or you did that for longer than that when you started?
Oh, I did that for way longer. I
Yeah.
mean, it started off as like do it for 30 days.
Hmm.
And then it becomes a habit, right? It's the same ththing like with my fitness, right? I originally it was like get to the gym every day for 30 days.
Hmm.
Even if you don't work, even if you don't lift that day or whatever it is, like just get to the gym for 30 days. I went to the gym for 173 days in a row.
Jesus.
That was like, and the only reason I didn't go on day 174 was because I was like sick as hell and couldn't even get out of bed. Right. So, and it's the same thing with this video. It's like if you get on Instagram stories and Instagram stories is a great platform to do it because Instagram stories expire after 24 hours, which basically means that that video is out there in the world for 24 hours and then it's gone. So you don't have to like be overly worried about the production value. You don't need to worry about like messing up. It could be raw. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? People are a little bit more sticklers about the videos that are going to sit on their account and on their social medias and on YouTube or whatever. They're going to be there forever, right? Instagram stories is cool because it's not there forever, 24 hours and they're gone. So that's a great platform to get started with video content. And plus, like the whole idea behind Instagram stories is kind of to show like the behind the scenes things, like the things that you necessarily wouldn't even like bother writing a full post or creating a full post about.
Hmm.
It gives you the opportunity to take your audience like a little bit level deeper into your personal life. I had a coach who I learned from Instagram strategies from, and he said, think about Instagram stories as your reality TV station. He's like, your main feed is like your prime time shows, your top level content. And he's like, and think of stories as your reality TV and giving people a sneak peek into your life and your reality.
Hmm. You see,
I
I've
wish
never.
LinkedIn had a way to do that. Because I'm a big creator on LinkedIn. Like that's my number one platform, and LinkedIn
Yeah.
doesn't really have a way for me to kind of give like a little bit more insight, like kind of leave my content pillars a little bit and give people the opportunity to get to know me on a personal level a little bit better. That's what I really love about stories.
Yeah. I've never really understood Instagram stories because I've been creating content uh
Until right now.
si well till right now since the 90s actually. I've been creating content since the 90s, and I've got content that still gets traffic now, like 10, 15 years later. And the idea of creating content that disappears 24 hours later, I think, why would I do that? Why would I do that when I can get leads, I can get traffic, I can get ad revenue, I can get stuff for something I did in 2014 or in 2012. Why create something that expires after 24 hours? It just doesn't compute. Doesn't compute.
Well, like I said, I look at it as something different, right? Like the I might talk about what I had for dinner and like show I like cooking. I love to cook,
Hmm.
right? So like that's my hobby. Like, am I gonna throw my cooking like on my feed? Like, no. Like my feed is there for people to get valuable information from me, right? But like, am I gonna go on my stories and be like, I just cooked the most amazing uh, you know, pasta for dinner last night. Here's a photo of it. Like, or whatever it is, right? Like it's giving people the opportunity to get to know me on a little bit of a deeper level without having to like kind of stick to my content pillars all the time. You
Hmm.
know, that's what I like about it.
So it's then it also gives you the opportunity to experiment with content that you may then want to start doing.
Totally. That too. Like if I
Right.
do a story and I'm like, do you think that like, or if I have like a concept that I'm not sure how my audience is going to take that concept, I can throw that concept up on a story quickly and see how people react to it. And if they react well to it, then I can turn that into a piece of content that can maybe, something that can last longer.
Hmm. So
Another great way to use Instagram
yeah.
stories, and like I don't want to like, dominate the conversation about Instagram stories, but um, you know, they're really great for sales actually. Um, I can go on Instagram stories and I can do something like this. I can create a poll, right? And I can create a poll that says, which one of these items do you struggle with the most? Okay. And then what I can then do is I can list out 3 items that people struggle with, that problems that they have that I know that I can solve with my services. And then what happens is no matter which option people choose, right? So I help people with video, right? So if I say you don't have time to make video, you have trouble coming up with all the ideas, or you're uncomfortable on camera, which one of these do you struggle with the most? No matter which one somebody chooses, that's a problem that I can solve for them. So now somebody is basically indicating to me that they, by clicking my thing, they are indicating to me that they have a problem. So I can reach out to them and I could say, "Hey, you said you're uncomfortable on camera. Talk to me. Is that holding you back from, being where you want to be in your business?" And if they're like, "Well, yeah, it is," I'll be like, "Well, let's talk because I got a way to help you become more comfortable on camera."
Hmm. That's interesting. I see that kind of content, and I've used it as well on Facebook, particularly in groups, and I use it on
Sure.
LinkedIn, quite particularly. And it used to be on Twitter, but not so much now because Twitter has become a bit of a shithole. Um, but the idea of using it on Instagram stories, okay, I can see how that would make sense now. Yeah.
I got the wheels turning for you on like how to use Instagram stories because you came into this podcast not believing in them at all, and I'm like,
No.
I just gave you some cool ways to use it. And you're like, I feel like the wheels are turning a little bit.
Yeah, it's like my daughter uses Snapchat as well, and I just don't understand why you create content that disappears. It just doesn't make sense. But I can, yes. Okay. So is
Yeah.
Instagram something that you would recommend? Somebody that was starting to get into video now, that's a good starting point for them to still use.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like stories and everything like that, yes. Do I think Instagram is a great platform to do business on? I think that it has capability, but I think it really depends on who your target market is, right? Um, like right now, I don't, I do post on Instagram, but not nearly as much as I used to because LinkedIn is my primary channel and 90+% of my business is coming directly through LinkedIn. So I obviously don't put that much time and effort into Instagram because I'm not really gaining any business from there. Um, if I did put some more effort into it, would I potentially gain some more business? Yeah, but I'm just not in a position to do that. I got to prioritize your time where like you're getting the best return on investment, right? Um, so in the future, it's something that I do want to go back to and I do want to revisit because I do have a pretty good following there. I have about 6,500 followers, and I had very like a highly engaged community at the time when I was putting out daily content on the platform. I am getting back into doing more stories, and it's more just to kind of do a little bit of practice and also, like you said, kind of see what is working and kind of test a few things and see what people are responding to. So I'm throwing that kind of content up there on Instagram stories to kind of, get a little bit of an idea of what people are into.
Okay, you've got me. I am a convert. I will
Mm.
give it an experiment. I will give it a go, and I will give it at least 30 days as well, as you say.
Yeah,
I'll give it.
definitely. Definitely do the 30-day challenge because you'll see even as somebody that's experienced on video like yourself,
Yeah.
you'll still get a lot better
Yeah.
like by doing it because it's a different style of video than like sitting in front of the video doing podcasting, right?
Mm.
Like just being able to grab the phone and talk for 30 seconds to 1 minute about something that's going on and something that you can provide some value to people in that short period of time without like writing out ideas and rehearsing and all that is
Mm.
a extremely valuable skill to have because that means that you can create content at the drop of a hat. It's huge. Like yesterday, for example, I was making 3 shorts that I'm going to use for LinkedIn. And I sometimes I write out like scripts or outlines of what I want to say. Yesterday I didn't. I grabbed this microphone, I plugged it into my iPhone, and I just went. And I put it, 90-second clips out there. I had my editors cut them up, probably be around a minute. And like I was able to make 3 clips in like 10 minutes.
Oh,
Valuable.
okay. Before we move on to LinkedIn, obviously you've mentioned that quite a
Yes.
bit. That is the platform of choice. Are there any other
Yeah.
platforms that you're using or you recommend using for video?
Yeah. YouTube. um,
What was I
the
thinking?
yeah, that's the
I've
obvious
heard
one.
of
So
that.
I'm late to the game on YouTube, I feel like for yes and no. I mean, you're never too late to the game at all, ever, right? Um, but I've been creating content, video content for I guess, 3.5, 4 years now. And I started YouTube in December of last year. So
Wow, that is late, isn't it?
I guess, yeah, I mean, like it's only been about 6 months, 7 months on YouTube.
Wow.
I have no expectations for YouTube this year. The only goal that I have for YouTube right now is to put out 100 videos on the platform this year. That's my goal. And I kind of
Is that
amended that goal.
including shorts?
No, that was just long form. I wanted to do 100 long form videos, and I actually
Okay.
kind of pulled back on that. So I've done a lot of long form. I've done, for the first half of the year, I was doing 2 long form videos a week, and then in the last month or so, I pulled back to saying like, hey, it's not so much about the volume, it's more about like increasing the quality. So I have scaled back to doing one long form per week, and just making it a better, higher quality video. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm doing.
When you say
I
long
was
form,
originally, my strategy was to do these kind of 2 minute. I mean, they're long form because anything on YouTube, YouTube Shorts has a maximum length of 60 seconds.
yeah,
Now, I don't think that's going to stay that way because Instagram short form video now has a 3 minute maximum. TikTok went to a 3 minute maximum, and then they increased to a 10 minute maximum. So people are actually doing like a little bit longer form videos on these other platforms now. So I think YouTube Shorts will probably end up going to, at least like a 90 seconds or 2 minutes.
yeah.
So like originally my plan for YouTube was 2 minute tutorials. And I did 2 minute tutorials for a while, and then I just kind of got bored of it. And I started to just take it a little bit deeper, going for like, and my long form is more like 4 to 5 minutes. Um, and I'm doing one of those per week now.
Hmm. Have you hit monetization on YouTube?
No, I'm not even close. I only have 300 subscribers,
Right.
and I'm not getting a good amount of views on my videos yet. I'm still figuring out the platform.
Hmm.
It's not a goal of mine to get monetized on YouTube. The really what I'm hoping for from YouTube again this year is just kind of just to build it up, have it as a channel, but mostly just to have like a place where I can house all of my video content so that I can direct people to some of my video content as, questions pop up, or, there's different things that, so like I took a bunch of my YouTube videos and I put it together as a course. So I have in my school community, I have two courses in there. And essentially all it is my YouTube videos back to back to back to back to back, put in a nice, concise order for as a course. That's essentially what I'm doing with the YouTube content right now. It's just building a library of evergreen content. And then next year in 2025, I'll look at how I can make money from YouTube, but not necessarily on the monetization side. It's really like, unless you have like a massive channel that's doing like a ton of views, like monetization on YouTube is like pennies, you know? So, um, my goal is more about how to generate leads through YouTube as opposed to, getting money on the monetization.
Hmm. Okay. And do you have any specific advice on creating YouTube videos in terms of titles, descriptions, thumbnail images, and use of hashtags?
Yeah, don't do it yourself. Come hire me and my team. That's what we
Yep.
do. Um, my entire YouTube channel is done. So the guy that was doing my YouTube channel, he does my thumbnails, he does my descriptions, he does that whole side of you. He posts, he does the description, he does the SEO, he does the chapters, he does like the call to the next video and all that, right?
Mm.
I don't do any of that. That's a ton of work,
Yeah.
right? Like having a YouTube channel is a lot of work. So, I had my guy doing all that for me, and basically I brought him in now, and he's doing the same thing. Like he's like we're partners now essentially. So I'm helping people with the actual ideation and the production, like creating the video, and then he's doing all the post. So we are like a team. We started off as like I hired him to help me with with my channel, and now we are a team.
Mm. Okay. So, LinkedIn, that's where you say the
Cool.
bulk of your business is coming from.
Oh, hell
Uh,
yeah.
LinkedIn, of course, added native video uploading 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. It wasn't that long ago that it did it. What's been your strategy for using video content on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. So I do definitely a combination of different style of videos. And I think about, I'd say 70% of my content on LinkedIn is video.
Mm.
Um, I'm also very strong. That's where my strength is, right? Like I am better in front of the camera than I am with the pen, right? So I lean into my strength, right? So I would say 70% of my LinkedIn content is video, but I do like to vary the formats, right? So when I say vary the formats, what I mean is some of my videos are longer form, and essentially my YouTube videos I post natively to LinkedIn. So my 5 minute videos, I'm posting those on LinkedIn. I actually posted one today.
So when you say
Uh,
you post them on LinkedIn, you mean you're uploading the video to LinkedIn. You're not sharing the YouTube link.
Correct. I'm uploading it natively to LinkedIn.
Mm.
Exactly. And so I post long form. I post shorts that are like well produced by my team, and then sometimes I will post shorts that are just me quickly again talking to camera, almost in the style of an Instagram story. No editing, just a very just adding a caption to it so that people have a caption, they can read the caption on screen. It's very important to have a caption in all your videos, especially nowadays. I think there's a statistic that I think it's something like more than 50% of the people watch the videos with the volume off.
Yeah.
So to have a good caption on the screen is important. But yeah, I like to kind of vary, give people a less produced look, a more produced look, a widescreen tutorial style look that like to the point where I want them to actually turn their phone and sit and watch for 5 minutes. Um, and I like to vary the type of content that I'm doing. So I will create educational content, tips, tricks, how to's, more, you know, top level stuff, more what they would call top of funnel style content, designed for broader appeal, designed to
Mm.
get more eyes on the content. Then, take it a level deeper into like what I call connection content. And that is sharing some of my own stories and some of the things that I've had some challenges with and how I've overcome those challenges. I love to do opinion videos, which is essentially just grabbing a hot button topic in your industry, niche, whatever you want to call it, and just sharing your thought process or your opinion on that, especially when your opinion goes against the status quo. I believe that it's really important because that does two things, and both two things are good for you. It repels the people that you don't want and attracts the people that you do want, because the people that you do want, and the people that are willing to work with you, they want to work with people that feel like they think the same way, right?
Mm.
So when you share an opinion and people are like, that's spot on, I love it. Those are the people that ultimately like end up wanting to work with you. So I like that. And then I'm a big believer in that you can sell in content, right? A lot of people don't like to sell in content, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I think that there's ways to be successful without selling in your content, but it's not for me. I like to sell my content.
Mm.
I also think that you need to earn the ability to sell in your content. So if you are providing value in 80% of the content, then you can take 20% of the content to promote your service. And when I say promote and sell, I don't mean just like, oh, I have this deal, come get this deal. That's not what I mean. What I mean is telling stories about things that you're doing with clients. Like it could be as simple as I had a client meeting today and we worked on this, and this so that they can get this. That's it. Like, and what happens, or I can tell a story about a client's success story, right? I could say something along the lines of, my client came to me with this problem over the last month. We've implemented this and this strategies, and now the result has been this,
Mm.
right? Um, and that's sales content. That gives people the opportunity to kind of put themselves in the shoes of your client and kind of picture themselves going through that same process or getting those same results. And you could do that and just, with a call to action to your service to book a call with you, to your workshop, to your email list, or wherever you want to take people. Um, that's how I create content. So, because what's the point of putting out all this content if it doesn't drive revenue for your business, right?
Mm.
So I've seen many people who, in my 4 years of creating content, where they will be at it, putting out content, and they're very good, but they end up quitting. And it's because the content wasn't serving them. They weren't making any money. And 90% of the time, it's because they weren't selling in the content.
Yeah.
You got to ask people. You
You
got to
gotta,
ask people. You got to tell them about your services. You can't just put yourself out there and like hope people figure out what it is that you do and come to you. You got to ask.
it is the biggest reason that people don't get sales. They don't ask for the sale. I I loved what you said there about being contrary to the status quo and making sure that you effectively work with people you want to work with. I have loads of conversations with people about that, saying, "Oh, I don't want to share this about myself because it might put people off. I don't want to talk about the fact that I'm into train collecting or model trains or anything because it's going to put people off." It's not. It's going to drive away the people that you're not going to enjoy working with anyway. You need to attract your tribe. You need to be yourself, be authentic, so that you work with the people you're actually going to like. If you piss people off, great. You've saved yourself a massive bloody headache in working with people you're just not going to enjoy working with anyway. Now,
Right.
when you talked about, oh, sorry, yeah, go on, go on.
No, no, no. I just to like add to that too. When you piss people off, like the other thing that happens is that they hoot and they holler, right?
Yeah,
And like they start blowing up your comments and all that, right? And what does that do? Just brings more attention to you.
it's engagement.
It's engagement. It literally
Engagement.
feeds like it is literally driving your content to be seen by more people.
Hmm.
So hoot and holler all you want. It's all good.
Yeah, I had two TikTok videos go. I don't know whether you class it as viral. 500,000 views was one, and about 700,000 views the other.
I'd count that as
I'd count
viral, half a
as viral.
million. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's probably
just
but on TikTok. Yeah,
yeah, it's all right. I did stand-up comedy routine, and I cut together a number of shorts for it. So one was about 45 seconds, one was I don't know about 30 seconds, and there's loads of people coming onto the comments because it was about BMW drivers. And they're a cliche here in the UK, BMW drivers. They don't indicate. So we did this story about BMW drivers, and there's loads of people coming on there tagging in people who drive BMWs. And then there's BMW drivers coming in there saying that you're shit, you're not funny, this isn't funny at all, you're crap. And every single comment that I got, I went in and replied to. Every single one, and usually insulted them with something about their mother. That then brought them back in, replying to me, and they just started an argument with me. And of course, every time they come back in, it's another view on the video, another view on the video. Hence, 700 something thousand views for the one video. And I was just creating arguments, just doing it because it gets you engagement, it gets you views, and it's using them, using their anger, using their annoyed, pissed offness to just keep coming back and giving me views. So I loved it, loved it.
totally.
Hmm. So when you say grab a camera and just do this, I've got like a what is it, a 4 or 5 grand Canon camera behind me there that I use for
Yeah,
filming events. You don't need
yeah.
one of those though, do you?
No,
You
no. You
don't.
just need a phone. Like I bought myself a really nice DSLR camera at the end of last year because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna level up the content and everything like that. I haven't used it once.
Really?
I haven't. I have an iPhone 14 Pro or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And everybody looks at my videos and like, oh my God, your quality of your videos is excellent. And I'm like, yeah, I use the same camera that you use. I have good lights. You don't need expensive equipment to do good videos
Mm.
these days. The uh, the camera in your iPhone 14 Pro or 13 Pro, whatever it is, whatever generation it is, are the same quality cameras that they were using to like film movies in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
That's frightening.
That's the quality of the camera that you have in your phone. So, you know, just use your phone.
So that would have
It's
been
not
like
necessary.
The Matrix and Phantom Menace, for example, because they were shot on digital. Phantom Menace certainly was on digital, which would have been a camera like an iPhone.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What obviously the way you're doing it, because your camera looks amazing right now. Anyone not watching this doesn't know your camera looks brilliant, and it is just an iPhone.
Yeah, this is so I use the iPhone camera. If you have a Mac computer, they have this feature called continuity camera, which basically allows you to use your iPhone as your webcam.
Right.
And I bought this. There's like this little like round clip thing, and I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna show you guys. So just give me a second here. Pulling this off. All right. It's like a little clip. Hold on. It looks like
Yeah.
this, and it literally sticks on the back of the phone, and then it clips onto the top of your laptop. And I just position it like right in the center, and there you go. You got like a perfect webcam, the best webcam that you could possibly have.
That's that's phenomenal.
And that the little clip thing costs like $20 or something like that.
Does that,
Like I said, I do have good lights. I have softbox lights
yeah.
on the other side.
Will that iPhone trick, will that work with a PC?
No, not the continuity camera. No.
Bastards.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's other ways to do it. I mean, there are some good webcams out there. The Logitech Brio is not one of them. Like a lot of people have Logitech Brio. I have it myself, and
Yeah.
it's a great camera for streaming. It's not a great for like capturing like video recordings.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah.
So do you have any advice then on lighting? Because when right now, anyone again not watching this, I don't have lighting set up here because it's a pain in the ass. My lights are out there. I haven't used them. I've got them, but I haven't used them. So I'm on standard office light, which is running at the same
Yeah.
frequency as the camera, which is creating a flicker. And you can see
Yes,
that flicker on it. It's really,
I can see it. Yeah.
really freaking annoying. But it creates a flicker because I haven't bothered to set the lights up. Normally, I kill the light in here and use that. What recommendations have you got for people actually lighting something? 'Cause I've been to film school, even though I've got this shit light here now. So I've done full lighting setups, but for those of us
Yeah.
that haven't, how would we do it?
Yeah. Look. I mean, ring lights are fine. Okay. You want to get yourself a nice ring light, a nice, like a good ring light for $30 or something like that. All good. That works. Especially if you don't wear glasses. If you wear glasses, then you
Oh
run
yeah, you
yourself
get that.
a
You get
little
that.
bit of trouble.
Yeah, you
You
get
get the
that big
little ring,
reflection,
you
don't
get
you?
the eye ring. All right. The other way to do it is to like, I mean, you can get a pair that they sell them on Amazon, and I have them in my Amazon. I have an Amazon store with like recommendations for equipment and stuff like that. But they have like a pair of lights that are, they're on a stand, so you can elevate them up a little bit, tilt them down towards you. And they have like a film that goes over it, so the light isn't too harsh. And I
Mm.
think they have like three different levels, as far as like, how bright they are. About $50. Are they high quality? No, but are they freaking, do they give you like a ton times better, like a million times better picture? Yes.
Mm.
Right. But so the idea behind this whole, like my whole like thing about setup and everything like that is you don't need to go out and spend like a ton of money on equipment. Like you could do like a $50 to $60 level up, which is basically a ring light and a small lapel microphone that you can get for about $25, right? Ring light runs you about $25, $30 too. If you want to step it up a notch and you want to get the two lights on the end, that'll run you about $50. And you can get a little bit better lapel microphone for $50. So for $100, you can have yourself a great setup.
Mm.
It's like it just, and then I always kill the overhead light.
Which is what I should have done right now.
I like to have some sort of light in the background because that kind of
Mm.
gives you a little bit of depth
It's
in
nice
in
that.
the I just have, and this is just a floodlight. Like it little comes with a little remote. You could change colors and everything
Oh,
like
that's
that.
nice.
And it costs $29 for two of them.
Wow.
Like, so it's like, again, you don't need to spend like a fortune to get a good looking
Mm.
studio setup.
I'll be honest, you've shamed me now because it looks really shit what I've got here. I mean, I've got a nice background if I actually used it properly.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
I am worried about it now. I'm supposed to be the professional in this. I look like shit right now. And you're
No,
there with your
no.
$20 backlight with a remote control.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. But I do think you can make that that setup look very cool. I mean, you got the brick wall and everything.
That's
It's
actually
tough.
wallpaper, that's wallpaper.
Oh, it is?
It is, yeah. But
Cool.
you wouldn't know. I've given it away now, but you wouldn't know.
No idea. Yeah, I would not have known. Look, the rooms are hard, right? Especially like with like I could tell you have a narrow room,
Yeah.
right? Right. So it's hard when you have a narrow room, it's a little bit hard to work with. My room is kind of narrow also. Um, so basically instead of like putting my desk up against the wall, like my desk is literally in the middle of the room. Right. And then I have the lights on the other side. And then I've got the bookshelf here. I got the door. I got a bathroom on this side. So like I can't really do anything on this side because like there's a door for the bathroom and everything. And then
Mm.
I got windows on this side. So I'm like, because windows do not help with your lighting unless they are directly across from you and you get natural light coming in that hits your face.
Yeah.
Other than that, like if windows are on the, like I have to battle that situation.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done podcasts from here, and I've got my windows right here, and I do the podcast just as the sun's about to set, and then halfway through the podcast, the sun hits the camera, and I get completely bleached out, and I'm gone, and I forget about it each
No.
time I'm doing it, and then halfway through, I'm going, oh shit, and I have to try and adjust the blinds during the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yep.
It's
I
not
get
good.
it. Yeah, I get that.
Hmm. When you mentioned always sell on your videos or always try to sell. Now, I know I've always felt this in the past, and I know some people feel it as well. When you're doing a video, when you're doing a talk, you got it in your mind that I'm coming to the bit where I want to try and sell something now. And it's like that. This is awkward, particularly being British because we don't like to sell. We think it's vulgar to sell. So there's this little voice saying, oh,
Yeah.
here we go. This is the awkward bit. And it changes tone, it changes pace, and it's noticeable because you feel almost ashamed to do it. How do you transition or bridge from the content of what you're doing to what you want to sell? And then how do you do the call to action as well?
Yeah. And again, this is like something that's really that can be really casual, right? So if you're talking about a story about a client, right? Let's say it's let's say you're trying to help a client fill up a workshop, right? So you could tell a story where you're saying, my client was really bummed out because he ran a workshop and he literally got one person that showed up and it was embarrassing because like he ran this workshop, he had a bunch of people that accepted the invite and he was embarrassed because one person showed up and now he's got to give this presentation for literally one person. And they've kind of also got to explain to that one person, like, that showed up, like, oh, whatever, right? So it's if the client feels like shit, right? So I met with the client and I said, look, let's run another one, even though he didn't want to. But in this time, we did we did these few things. We created a sequence. Every person that accepted the invite on LinkedIn, we sent them a direct voice message with a calendar link to get that, and a calendar link to get that added to their calendar. And we took the necessary steps. And on the next one, he actually ended up getting 10 people that showed up and two of them converted, right? So if you want to learn how to put a better workshop in place and actually close clients through a workshop, just DM me the word workshop and I will reach back out to you and I'll reach out and I'll reach out to you. We could chat about it.
Hmm.
It's that casual.
That is nice. Yeah, because it's using a client testimonial, a client case study, in effect, to
Yeah.
talk about
Or
how
it's just
great your
like,
client is and the
yeah,
success they had, but it's also talking about how great you are, but subtly.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say one word about me. All I said was
Mm.
that my client, this is what happened.
Yeah.
They ran the workshop. They got 10 people. They closed two clients from it. Right. That's it. And then I said, hey, and like if that sounds like if you're struggling to like fill up your workshop and you're struggling to get clients and you haven't, and you've tried workshops, but they haven't worked and maybe they haven't worked in the past, reach out to me and let me help you set up your next workshop.
Mm.
Like that's a great sale for somebody who helps people to sell, helps people to get clients through workshops.
Mm. No, I like that. That's really cool. You mentioned as the call to action there would be DM. Is I have to ask, is that the kind of call to action you would normally do on a
Yeah,
LinkedIn video?
that's the one that works best for me. And usually what I try to do is I try to give people a simple word that they can DM.
Mm.
So I usually tell my word's actually easy because my thing is all about how do I make video easy. So I always tell people, hey, if you're looking to put your video on easy mode and get, a month's worth of video content in under an hour, DM me the word easy and I'll reach out to you directly. The people that actually like, I call that like sort of like a little bit more of like a high friction call to action because they actually have to go to your profile, send you a DM, right? So like anybody that's doing that, like they are doing that. They're taking the time to like go to your profile and then go into your DMs. So those people are interested. Like, and I'm going to work hard to get those people into whatever my next step is that I want them to take.
Mm. Does that the reason I'm going to say this is because I've seen a lot of people do this, and I've done it myself, where rather than ask for a DM, they ask for a comment for the social proof that other people are asking, and also for the engagement on LinkedIn to increase the reach of the video or the post in the first place.
Sure.
Do you ever do that, or do you find that works, or do you always go for the DM?
I actually I no I never asked for like comment the word easy or whatever. I mean I could do that. Um and I used to do that actually on Instagram. I used to do that because
Right.
there was a tool called ManyChat that triggered an automation,
Yes.
right? Where basically you would, anybody that commented the word easy, like there would be an automatic thing that would reach out to that person with a automated message. Now, I don't really love automated messages, so this is how I got around that. I literally would say, thank you for your comment on my post today. This is an automated message so that I can track what is happening.
Mm.
You'll hear from me shortly. And then I would reach out to each person with an individual message that was personalized from me. But
Mm.
that's how I would kind of cut through the noise.
It's funny you mentioned that. I've got my LinkedIn screen on the other tab here, and I've just set off an automated message just before we started this podcast, and I can see my inbox is lit up with responses as well. So
Yeah,
automation has its place when it's done right. When it's done.
correct. I think you can definitely use it. And I would just, again, like if you're like, I would be very transparent and say like, hey, this is an automated message. So and like, which means that and for tracking purposes, which means that I'm going to get to it and I'm going to reach out to you, in the next 20, and you got to set the expectation of like how long it's going to take you to get back. So I would say like maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours, like you'll hear
Mm.
from me, or in the next 3 hours, like depends on, if you're going to check it every 3 hours or whatever it is, you'll hear from me.
Mm. I can see you work with a number of clients on LinkedIn as well, helping them with their videos. And I was
Yeah,
looking at one of your testimonial videos earlier on from Leah Turner, a LinkedIn trainer.
sure.
Love everything she does. Her output's fantastic. How do your packages work with working with people like Leah in terms of creating content? What does the client have to do, and what do you do then for them?
Yeah, sure. No problem. So basically we kind of go through, a few different phases, when I'm onboarding a new client, but the whole idea is to provide the client with as little stuff to do as possible. Like all I need the client to do is show up and be ready and be in a good state of mind, ready to fill. Okay. Now, when I say good state of mind, what I mean is like they need to like if you just had a fight with your girlfriend or your kids are driving you insane or you just got into a car accident, your car is scuffed up and you're just like a little bit frazzled and everything like that, reach out to me and cancel the appointment and reschedule it because I don't want to film with people in that state. I want people,
Mm.
when I want to film with somebody, I want people to be in their best frame of mind. Right. Um, so basically, that's it. Show up and be ready to go, rock and roll.
Mm.
And, essentially the way that the process works, like I said, when I'm onboarding a new client, I need to understand some things about them. I need to understand their business a little bit. I need to understand who they're targeting. I need to understand what problems those people have and what problems they're solving for them. I need to understand a little bit about what's kind of top of mind in their industry. What are the areas of expertise and their content pillars? Like, what are they talking about in their content? Um, I also need to understand their sales process. So where do they take people? Where do they want people to go? Are they trying to get people to an email list so they can nurture them? Are they trying to get people into workshops because they run a workshop every month and that's how they bring clients in? Or are they trying to get people directly to a one-to-one consultation call with them? What is the process of, what does their customer journey look like, right? So once I've gathered all that information, then what I do is I know everything that I need to know about the client. Then I go and research their industry. And I look at what kind of publications are in that industry. Like what are like the articles that are out? What are the big kind of hot button topics in this industry right now? What are um, what viral content is out in their niche market, right? What are they googling? So I go and I have like a bunch of resources that I reference, and then I use what I know about the business plus my research to put together, you can call them questions, topics, prompts, hooks, for the videos. Once I have all that prepared, then they come into the film session. I do not provide them with any of this information before the film session
Mm.
because in the film session, my idea is to capture their most authentic thoughts. And if they are preparing beforehand, I am not capturing them as they're like in the most authentic possible way. So basically, what I do is I give them these prompts and questions and hooks and tell them that they can obviously put it into their own words. And then I ask them to share their insights and their stories. And on top of that, and throughout the sessions, I provide some guidance as far as like, hey, this is where you might want to take this particular video. Or sometimes I just let people go, and then at the end, I'll be like, hey, this is a really good opportunity to call to your workshop, or hey, this is a really great opportunity to just ask this question to get more comments. That's how we're going to close this video out, right? um, and basically I kind of coach them through the entire filming process, and then at the end we have this anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes of footage that I pass off to my team. And I have a team that does all the post production. So every single one of my clients gets a custom style with their brand colors and brand fonts and any kind of like brand images that they want to incorporate into the content. Our editing team is like top notch. They do an amazing job coming up with the again, this custom look for every single client. Um, and then 2 weeks later, we deliver all their content to them via Dropbox, and they're ready to go. They get a month's worth of video content and that's a combination of long form and short form videos if they want. And then we now also do full YouTube management as well. So thumbnails, descriptions, the whole nine. We do the full package. And then again, and we do the posting and everything on YouTube. But everything else gets delivered via Dropbox, and people can go ahead and post their content to LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever it is that they want to put their video content.
Well, that's quite a done for you service, then, isn't it? It's quite
It is a
comprehensive.
done for you. Yeah, it is a niche social video done for you agency, basically.
Mm. And presumably as well, that's anywhere in the world you're doing this online. They don't have to physically come to you.
Correct. I mean, you mentioned Leah, so obviously she's in the UK. I'm here in the US. I think I've had clients across 6 continents at this point. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's all the continents, isn't it? Or is there seven?
I mean, there's 7, but like,
There's seven. I'm
does
showing my
anyone
ignorance there.
does anyone live in Antarctica or no? I don't know. Do
Well, you
people
need to
live
get a
there?
client there just to complete the set.
I don't know if there's people living there or not. I don't think so.
Even if they're like visiting, you need to get that.
Yeah, I don't think they're creating content over there in Antarctica.
They
I
got
don't think
such
there's a big
beautiful scenery.
content
They
scene.
should be. They should be.
It's a
Beautiful.
beautiful content scene in Antarctica.
Right. So we're practically out of time. I feel like I've not really asked you any questions at all. I don't know where the time has gone, to be honest with you. So anyone listening to this thinking, "Wow, I love the sound of Danny's voice. I want someone like Danny or Danny himself to do all of this for me, to just take all of my video content and just make it cool." What's the best way for someone to reach out?
DM me the word easy. No, just
Do it easy.
no, no, just find me on LinkedIn. Just look me up, Danny DelVecchio. You'll see me. I look exactly like this. I have a backwards hat.
Do you know, I
I
did
wear
notice that. I've got your profile photo on here. It's a cracking photo, by the way, and you do look exactly the same now as you do in that photo.
yeah.
It's even the same angle of the hat. It's slightly off to the one
Like
side.
yeah, backwards hat, slightly to the side. It's sort of my look. People tell me I look like Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. Um, but anyway, no, it's very easy to find me. Just Danny DelVecchio. You can go to coachdannyd.com, click the work with me button. It's on there too. That'll take you right to my calendar to link, and we could talk about how we can put your video on easy mode.
Absolutely fantastic. I will put all of those links, including your LinkedIn profile, in the show notes below the podcast. So on YouTube, below the video, and iTunes, wherever you listen to this, just scroll down and you'll see contact details for Danny below there.
Awesome.
Okay, Danny, thank you very much for being a guest on the podcast.
Oh my God, man, this was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you. And there we are. We're out.
That was
How was that?
great.
How was that?
Awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, we flowed pretty well, right?
we did. We did, didn't we? We did.
Yeah,
Even though
that was
I'm
great.
gonna have to change my desk now and get some proper lighting in here and actually sort this shit out.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's better to have the content.
I mean, I have a proper Sony camera down there. I could connect that up. I have done that once before, but I could have it done so good. I just haven't bothered.
I'm slacking too. Like I honestly, like I got my DSLR camera. I've been dying to like get my DSLR camera set up so that I could just record my like I do workshops, like I run workshops. I
Mm.
do like I should have been recording this. Like I could have taken I like I if I had my camera here set up, like I could have got like I probably could have got 7 videos out of it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like at least like I did, so that's the idea is like but for some reason I'm struggling with this camera. I can't get it to work the way I want it to, and I just need to get somebody out here like be like set this up for me because like I'm not a AV like guy at all.
yeah,
Like I'm not I don't know anything. I don't know shit about video production. It's not my thing. Like I got editors and everything like that. That's what they do. Like I don't know anything about it. Like I'm good at the content part. Like I'm good at like helping people come up with the ideas and the coaching part of it. Like, but the production side of it, that's not me at all. I do
yeah.
like people are like, oh, you're a video editor. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't edit anything. I'm like, I'm an amateur video editor at best.
Well, there's our trailer right there. I don't know shit about video production. It's
I mean,
amazing.
look,
It's amazing the stuff
it's all
people
good.
say when you said cut, but then
I know, right? Like,
you get the best
if you want
stuff.
to use it,
You get
if
the
you want to
best.
figure it out how to use it, I have no problem with it.
But it is a great intro. I don't know shit about video production. It's like, what? People will watch that.
Yeah, I'm a top voice in video production. I know shit about it.
There we go. Right.
Funny.
Well, I think on that bombshell, yeah, thank you. Oh, actually, there was one thing. Leah Turner.
Yes,
I'd love to have Leah on this podcast. I know she said she doesn't want to do podcasts unless, it's really worth her time doing it. But
that's a tough one.
I know, I know.
You should.
If you
No,
could
no.
put in a good word and say how much fun
Well,
you
Tommy's more connected to her than I am.
is he?
Yeah, yeah. He's I'm in her community and everything like that, and I worked
Mm,
with her, but like we worked together a while back. And I mean, we still chat and I still hang out like in her community like when I can.
yeah,
But I think Tommy's in there he's got like probably more he's probably has like a deeper relationship with her than I
yeah.
do.
He does a lot of testimonial work with it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he does. I think he might be like a better path to get to her.
mm,
But she would be awesome to have.
she
She's
would.
just very cool.
She is.
Yeah.
I will try Tommy. I think Tommy has tried for me before, but she's very selective.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll try again. Desperate to get her on it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put in the word. I'll put it in her ear. I have her. Look, I'll tell you the hint to communicate with Leah.
Yeah.
Don't communicate with her on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Because you want to know why? I mean, you got to think about it, man. She's getting
Sh-
freaking hurt like a million people reaching out to her on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So if you want to get Leah's attention, reach out to her on Instagram.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Every time I want to get her attention, I send her stuff on Instagram. I never send her anything on LinkedIn.
That had actually genuinely never occurred to me. I'm going to do that. What a cracking idea. Hmm. Thank you.
There you go. I have a few sometimes.
Yeah. That and Instagram stories. Yeah. Well, that's what I've taken from this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like I changed your mind on Instagram stories,
You
and I
have. You
appreciate it.
have. Yeah. I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna start on Monday.
All right. Oh,
Hmm.
you know what? It's 10:01. I'm late for an appointment. Let me
Oh,
go. I thank you so much for having me. I do appreciate it. This was fun.
no worries. Thank you very much for being on.
I'll see you.
Cheers, mate. Bye.